looking at what has been happening over the last few years in I just wanted to understand that because you have this unique vantage point of having to be able to see how things have been progressing. So, what should the leaders look forward to do in 2026 as a decision making?
Yeah, I think first of all, thank you, Ganesh. It's the second conversation that I'm having with Tech Talks, and I think the previous conversation with Vikram was here. But I think a couple of learnings, or maybe three learnings that I got from 2025, and from a vantage point of not just working for purpose, but also with our customers across the world, were these. Number one, AI is no longer the silver bullet. I think while there's a lot of progress that AI has made in terms of LLMs, in terms of what we do on agentic system, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the AI, on the algorithms, on stuff that we want to do from AI. So it's no longer the silver bullet. I would not say it's no longer, it's never been the silver bullet, and it confirmed and reconfirmed a little bit of belief in 2021. There's still a lot of work to do. Having said that, the advantages that AI produced far outweighs the problems that it created, which was one of the learnings of 2025. I think the second thing was there's a lot of work still left, both from a research point of view and also from an implementation point of view of something that we call as responsible AI. Right. I think people loosely use the term as responsible AI, whereas under the barracks of responsible AI, there are a lot of things like explainability, a lot of things like transparency, which are still at a very nascent stage. And, we tend to just outthrow those values and numbers to people saying that, look, it's an explainable AI or it's something like that. Third, I think I found out that a lot of edge-based cases will now move towards, because a lot of people want AI in their hands and not just really on a cloud in terms of, and even the definition of SaaS really transformed in 2025. Normally we call it as software as a service. SaaS is definition changed as service as a software. So how could companies like us make services, package it in a software, and then give it to our customers? So I think that was one. Fourth was a lot of sovereign AI structure started coming in, right? So a lot of countries, in fact, and a lot of nation states started deciding we should have our own sovereign AI, we should have our own data, we should have our own models. But at the end of the day, we should also have our own ethics and bias based into that sovereign culture. As I look towards 2026, I see two or three things which are massively changing. I think AI is slowly getting to be the invisible infrastructure. Right. While people talk about the physical infrastructure, we talk about the invisible infrastructure. Under every app, under every system of records, there is some facet of AI which is bounded in some way, which people would tend to use, right, in terms of 2026. We will continue to see this rise of sovereign AI. In fact, India has also charted a path of sovereign AI. Some people ask us a question, why are you still making LLMs? I think the simple answer to that question is it gives us that sense of proprietariness, but also it ensures that some of the context that is present in some of these dialects and languages continues to stay as it is in our own language. That's why we're building LLM. So sovereign AI will be there. I think you'll also see in 2026 a big shift in terms of productivity that we're seeing, right? So it's, I would like to call it the valley of death for productivity, which we saw in 2025, right? I may choose words not right, but productivity was seen as something that we could give our developers. We could give some of our testers. We could also see some productivity changes at the back-end office creation. From a back-end office perspective, productivity was there, but through a large sense of tools that we applied, right, there is still a little bit of wanting that I think will be cleared off from a productive sense in 2026. I think 2026, you will also see the rise of quantum happening and how the connection between quantum and AI will start strengthening, even though I've predicted that 2030 probably may be the era where quantum would be more interspersed with AI in terms of its awakening and things. Physical AI would really become very cool in 2026. And I think there's a lot of talk around physical AI, but how does edge-based AI systems along with physical robots start happening on not just the factory floor, but they start coming into your houses as well, for your calendar recognitions, for you to wake up in toys and so on and so forth. I think that is one, and I think the era of responsible AI will become much more responsible in coining the term responsible AI in 2026 in terms of what we want out of responsible, right? So we figured out last year that bias and ethics is something that you can solve using guardrails.
Right.
But there's a lot of work that is needed on explainability, on transparency. Accountability, yes. While a developer is developing it, he is accountable. But how do you look at the picture of the entire accountability from a value chain perspective?
Right.
I think that will become slightly more clearer in 2026.